There was a drone and missile attack in the Bryansk region of Russia. Local Telegram channels reported this. Ukrainian kamikaze drone struck the Novozybkov oil transfer station of the Druzhba pipeline. As a result, an explosion and fire occurred. There were no reports of casualties. It is also said that 2 rocket strikes were launched on the territory of the region using the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system. Local authorities reported that the air defense system was activated and the missiles were shot down. New details of the drone attack in the Bryansk region became known. According to the monitoring group Krymskogo Vetra, referring to the data of the satellite survey, 4 powerful fires were recorded in the territory of the region, in particular, near the village of Sinii Kolodets. An unidentified object, the purpose of which is unknown, was burning at the intermediate oil pumping station Novozybkov, on the territory of the brick factory, at the linear pumping dispatch station 8. These oil plants are part of the Druzhba oil pipeline and play a key role in ensuring the supply of oil to Belarusian refineries, as well as transit to Europe. More than 33 million tons of oil per year pass through the station. According to Associated Press, Belarusian authorities said on Tuesday that Belarus is ready to resume cross-border traffic with Ukraine soon. On the Belarusian side, all checkpoints that are located on the border with Ukraine are functioning. Service is being carried out at them. Border guards are fully prepared to resume international communication with the neighboring side in the shortest possible time, Press Secretary of the Belarusian State Border Committee, Anton Bychkovsky, said at the crossing on Tuesday. Journalists were invited to visit the Novaya Guda checkpoint in the southeastern region of Gomel, that used to be one of the biggest checkpoints between the two countries with routes towards Kiev, Chernihiv and other Ukrainian cities. Ukraine closed all its checkpoints on the border with Belarus after the conflict started in February 2022. Both countries have built fortifications on their sides and strengthened security measures. Belarus President Alexander Lukashenko, who extended his more than 3-decade rule in an orchestrated election on Sunday, allowed Moscow to use the country's territory to start the conflict in Ukraine in 2022 and later hosted some of Russia's tactical nuclear weapons. Lukashenko has been in power since 1994 and has ruled the country with an iron fist. He has relied on subsidies and political support from Russian President Vladimir Putin, himself in office for a quarter century, a relationship that helped him survive the 2020 protests.
Ну, мы все прекрасно понимаем, что те риски, вызовы и угрозы, которые исходят с территории государства, которое воюет, необходимо учитывать в планах обороны нашего государства. И мы это, безусловно, делаем. Поэтому территория приграничья была оборудована соответствующим образом. С белорусской стороны все пункты пропуска, которые находятся на границе с Украиной, функционируют, в них осуществляется служба, пограничники в полном объеме готовы в самые кратчайшие сроки возобновить международное сообщение с сопредельной стороной. Хватило информации вовремя выявить нарушителя и предупредить. Черт, я так же хочу.
Soldiers from the 225th Assault Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the Kursk region lured Russian forces into an ambush and destroyed them with HIMARS. As Forbes analyst David Axe writes, this successful Ukrainian tactic helps explain the huge Russian losses in the area. Thus, the Ukrainian fighters pretended to be defeated and retreated. But when the Russians rushed forward into the forest belt near the village of Sverdlikovo, the Ukrainian armed forces covered them with HIMARS. When the enemy, believing in their success, pulled significant forces into this square, cluster munitions were fired at them from HIMARS. As a result of the strike, a significant portion of the enemy's manpower was destroyed, the 225th Assault Battalion said in a statement. As Axe notes, the ambush, the result of careful coordination between the battalion headquarters, its forward companies and a neighboring artillery brigade, helps explain the enormous losses suffered by Russian and North Korean troops. Not only are the Russians and North Koreans attacking day after day along the same roads leading to the city of Sudza, the core of the Ukrainian Bulge, they are increasingly doing so on foot and with little support. Infantry is vulnerable to artillery, and especially vulnerable when it is grouped in a pre-calculated kill zone, the analyst notes. As Axe notes, it is unclear how many Russian casualties the operation has inflicted. Typically, the largest Russian assaults can involve 50 vehicles and a few hundred troops. Most involve far fewer. But the most catastrophic Russian and North Korean attacks in recent weeks have left hundreds of dead and wounded after they failed. And the fact that the 225th Attack Battalion is particularly proud of the ambush speaks to the potentially enormous number of Russian casualties, he points out. Deputy Commander of the Tank Battalion of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, Magura Yuri Gulko, said that during the battles in the Kursk region of the Russian Federation, the exchange fund is replenished daily, but the number of prisoners is now less than at the beginning of the operation on enemy territory. Senior officer of the Communications Department of the 80th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade, Petr Gaidashchuk, said that the tactics of the North Korean military in the Kursk differ from the Russians. The DPRK military in Kursk conducts assault operations in large groups of 50 people, moving across open terrain.